Hello everyone, and welcome back once more. My name is Derek, and in this video I'm going to talk about a news story from this past week. This comes out of Syracuse, New York, where the coach of the men's basketball team for Syracuse University, Jim Boeheim, struck and killed a pedestrian on his way back from the game, or from dinner that night, around 11:30 on Wednesday. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the numerology of this incident and also how it appears to be related to the bizarre story from Duke where Zion Williamson sprained his knee after tearing his own shoe with his own foot. Duke is the team that Syracuse plays next after their game against Louisville from this past Wednesday. Let's begin with the age of Jim Boeheim. Jim Boeheim is currently 74 years old, born in the year 1944 in the month of November. Using the alphabetic order, where each letter is assigned a numeric value 1 through 26 relative to its position in the alphabet, the word killing sums to 74, K the 11th letter, I the 9th, L the 12th, and so on and so forth. The name Jim Boeheim sums to 53 in reduction, and it seems as if these events surrounding the world of sports are connected numerically, whether or not it's professional or college or even across different sports. Several weeks ago, we just had the conclusion of Super Bowl 53. And you may remember there was one touchdown scored in Super Bowl 53 exactly 53 minutes into the game. The Rams only scored 3 points, which came on a 53-yard field goal. This is because the football is the shape of the vesica piscis, which sums to 53 in full reduction. This incident occurred 17 days after Super Bowl 53. The word kill equals 17. But notice this. See how vesica piscis sums to 134 in the alphabetic order? Another cipher I teach in every one of my videos is called Jewish Gematria, based on the ancient Latin alphabetic order. This cipher, structured numerically, similarly to Hebrew Gematria, Greek isopsephy, where we get much larger numbers. Instead of reducing, these numbers get expanded. In Jewish Gematria, Jim Boeheim's full name, James Arthur Boeheim, sums to 1304. A lot like the number 134, since zeros are ignored in numerology. This incident, on which he hit a pedestrian, was 13 weeks and 4 days after his birthday, exactly. As the headline stated, this was a pedestrian on interstate that he killed. This sums to 134 in the reverse reduction method. His team, Syracuse, had just defeated Louisville earlier that day. Louisville equals 134. That's another team that plays in the Atlantic Coast Conference, which sums to 134. Now, if you take 13 weeks and 4 days, you also find that this occurred 3 months and 3 days after Boeheim's birthday. The name Boeheim in reverse reduction equals 93. This is the same as the state in which he coaches, New York, which equals 33. Syracuse, their nickname is the Orange. Orange is the only basic color with 33 gematria in reduction. And if you just saw my last video, you know that 33 is synonymous with ritual human sacrifice. Both of these values are 895 in Jewish gematria. And what made this kind of eerie is the headline. Legendary Syracuse basketball coach Jim Boeheim fatally hits pedestrian on interstate, district attorney says. Well, notice how in Jewish gematria this headline sums to 6,016. The phrase ritual sacrifice equals 616. Now, I don't necessarily believe that the victim in this case was ritually sacrificed. I'm going to explain why in another live stream that I'll do after this video. I do believe this was a real event that happened organically by the numbers, and I'll explain why in that video. Next, I want to talk about the homicide code. Again, this doesn't seem like an intentional homicide, it just seems like an accident, but the numbers are here nonetheless, so let's take a look at this. Notice how the word homicide equals 48 in reduction. This is the same as the word pedestrian, 48. But I want you to pay attention to Jewish gematria, where homicide equals 118. This is the same as the word death in the same method, 118. The game that Jim Boeheim coached that day, his team, Syracuse, defeated Louisville by a score of 69-49. If you add up 69 plus 49, it equals 118. In single reduction, pedestrian on interstate equals 118. This is with the S exception, where S is only reduced once. Now, whenever we talk about the homicide code, we also refer to the number 187. This was a number made famous in the 90s. Remember 187 on a motherfucking cop, right? Well, this comes from the California Penal Code, which defines murder as section, 187. The man who died in this story is named Jorge Jimenez. Using the reverse alphabetic order, where Z is 1, Y is 2, and A is 26, Jorge Jimenez, 187. This all happened the same day that Zion Williamson broke his shoe. His name sums to 187. Zion Williamson's birthday falls on the 187th day of the year. Now, one of the reasons 187 is so significant in numerology is because of its prime factorization and prime relationship. In each one of my videos, I talk about prime numbers and how they connect numbers to each other. Well, look at the prime factorization of 187. 187 is not a prime number. 187 is the result, or the product, of 11 times 17, 1117. The 187th prime number is 1117, 1117. So there's two connections with prime numbers between 187 and 1117. Jim Boeheim was born on November 17th, 1117. November 17th is the date that leaves 44 days on the calendar, and he was born in the year 44. In the alphabetic order, the word kill equals 44. This incident occurred on a Wednesday, which is the only day of the week that sums to 44 in Gematria. So we talked about numbers of homicide. What about numbers of sacrifice? In reduction, sacrifice equals 46. In the Hebrew language, this is the numeric value of kill and murder. In Hebrew Gematria, the word sacrifice equals 347. 347 is a prime number. It's the 69th prime number. And why is this significant? Well, first of all, Syracuse defeated Louisville with a total of 69 points in that game from the same day. In Gematria, Syracuse, New York, where this incident occurred, sums to 69. The interstate on which the crash occurred was Interstate 690. Next, I want to talk about the connection to this Duke game. First of all, the victim in this case, Jorge Jimenez, passed away at the age of 51 years old. He died on the 51st day of the year. The name Zion Williamson, which we saw equals 187, also sums to 74, like how Jim Boeheim is 74 years old. But notice the alphabetic order value of 191. In our English extended method, which is constructed similarly to Jewish Gematria but uses the current 26-letter English alphabet, North Carolina Tar Heels equals 1,091. This is the team against that Duke was playing against when Williamson tore his shoe and hurt his knee. In this same method, the name of the victim, Jorge Jimenez, equals 1,091. Jim Boeheim, who struck Jimenez on the interstate, his name is James Arthur Boeheim, which equals 191. He then issued a statement which read, "I am heartbroken that a member of our community died as the result of last night's accident. Julie and I extend our deepest sympathies to the Jimenez family. Out of respect for those involved, I will not be providing further comment at this time." In the reverse reduction method, this statement sums to 1,091, which was the name of the victim, the Gematria of Jim Boeheim, the Gematria of Zion Williamson, and North Carolina Tar Heels. Remember, Syracuse's next game is against Duke. Or was against Duke. I don't know if they played already. They play today at 5 p.m., so let's keep our eyes on the score for this game for tributes. And talking about this number, 191, 191 is also a prime number. This would be the 43rd prime number. The word killing equals 43 in reverse reduction. Syracuse on the 43rd parallel. I also want to touch on the numerology of the Zion Williamson injury. He tore his shoe. Shoe sums to 61 and 16 using reverse. The date on which he tore his shoe had 61 and 16 numerologies. What's so interesting about Zion Williamson is how his name has full matching gematria across 4 base ciphers with Society of Jesus, 191, 187, 79, and 83 with the S exception. He suffered a hurt right knee, which sums to 187. The number 22 is significant in numerology. It's what's known as the master builder number. Of course, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 considered to be the number of foundation. The 4th book of the Bible is called Numbers. In Gematria, master builder number has an ordinal value of 220, a lot like the number 22. The date written 2/20 is February 20th. Notice how this also sums to 220. And if you measure from February 20th to the anniversary of the Society of Jesus, you find it's a span of 220 days. And of course, this is the date on which Zion Williamson, who shares Gematria with the Society of Jesus, was injured. The Society of Jesus celebrates its anniversary on September 27th. So not only is this the 27th day of the month, it's also the 270th day of the year. Zion Williamson made his debut for Duke on August 15th of 2018. Measuring from that date to the date of his injury on February 20th is a span of exactly 27 weeks and 0 days. In Gematria, Duke, North Carolina equals 270. This was the game in which he hurt his knee. Also notice how in ordinal, Duke, North Carolina equals 189. 27 weeks is exactly 189 days. anytime we're talking about the Jesuit order, we're talking about the numerology of the circle. Notice how their emblem for the Jesuit order is a circle. This circle has 32 rays of the sun emanating from it. In reduction, the word circle equals 32. Now, the mathematics of the circle are resolved using the number pi, which is 3.14. Zion's injury came 3 months and 14 days after the start of the college basketball season on February 20th, which leaves 314 days in the year. His injury also fell 47 days before the NCAA men's college basketball championship. The circle equals 47 in reduction. Freemasonry's compass, which draws the circle, is set to 47 degrees on their emblem. In the reverse order, Freemasonry equals 158. This is the same as the value of knee sprain, which equals 158. This is what they officially called Zion Williamson's injury. But what's more interesting is the number 112 in ordinal. Not only is this the reverse value of circle 112, but this knee sprain was the result of a broken shoe, which sums to 112, also 158. The number 112, synonymous with Zionism, the word Zionist equals 112. This was Zion Williams who got hurt. Zionism equals 105. This is the same as Masonry, Freemasonry, the Jesuit order, both pushing the Zionist agenda. Using the S exception, Zion Lateef Williamson equals 105. His birthday, 7 plus 6 plus 2. Born in the year 2000. This sums to 15. So a lot of strange things going on here. You know, was this set up for his shoe to tear? It certainly seems like it. However, I do not believe that the incident in which Jim Boeheim killed a pedestrian was set up. There's something else going on here, guys. I'm going to talk more about this in my next video. I'm going to do another live stream where I'll talk about several more blog posts, as well as observations from this week in the organic matrix. Something really interesting that came up this week, and I just want to talk about it and how it shapes what I think about what's going on with the numbers. So I hope you guys check that video out as well. I'll be streaming again shortly. All right, everybody, please feel free to share, like, subscribe to this channel. Again, this is censored content. I am on my second YouTube channel, and I don't expect this one to last forever either, so please do what you can to share. Thanks and God bless everyone. See ya.